Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video, and today we're going to be bringing back the bait deck on my main account. I posted a video on the deck a couple of days ago, and honestly you guys were eating it up in the comments. Personally, I think the deck is hilarious because there's really no perfect way to play it. It's sort of just ridiculous in every single way. So let's go ahead and play it again today, trying out a couple of battles. It's really fun to see your opponent's reaction when you play just a ridiculous amount of cards that need to be arrowed out. And yeah, alright, so starting off against Chief Sergio, looks like he's got some level 13 commons, so I'm gonna have to deal with those. Let's drop a princess to kill some of those minions. Looks like things are okay so far, and as my princess makes its way up, I'm gonna do a little bit of a strange combination. I'm gonna do the goblin barrel into the goblins. Again, like I said, really no perfect way to play this deck. I'm gonna drop my arrows as well, and look at those goblins take that tower all the way down to 389. So obviously he didn't have the tools to deal with it. In fact, he's gonna play a zap right there to try to take out my horde, but still has a little bit of HP left right now, and I might be able to get a hit or two off onto the tower, at least one, so that tower's all the way down at 259. So pretty solid start to the game. We haven't even played the majority of our stuff just yet. He's going to play the Royal Giant, a fully maxed out level 13 Royal GG, so I'm going to have to deal with that with my skeleton army. My princess is cooking up some stuff as well for us, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of princess on princess Mortal Kombat right there, and both princesses are going to die and pay the price. So meanwhile, he drops his miner. I'm going to go for a goblin barrel goblin push, everyone's favorite push. And it looks like he's going to zap that out, drop a couple of fire spirits to end up killing that horde, or that group of goblins, and take a look at the minion horde. Since he just played that zap, I know he doesn't have an appropriate counter, so I'll just drop my minions, which are going to terrorize his, as well as get some good shots off against that tower. The tower's all the way down at 259 on the right-hand side, and we took 1,000 HP off that left-hand tower, and he's going to hit me with the well-played. At this point, he knows I'm sort of trolling him with this ridiculous deck, and he only has the zap to deal with it, as well as the princess. So let's go ahead and get ready for another push. I'll drop the miner in the back. I've got the skeleton army dropping down right there, and with those barbarians, they're going to be mad distracted by that skeleton army. My miner is just going to go ham in the very back. I've got the arrows going down onto the princess, the goblin barrel onto the right hand tower, and then mini P.E.K.K.A. on the left. So tower went down on the right hand side. His fire spirits weren't able to take me out. Meanwhile, on the right, he's got another Royal GG, so I'm going to drop goblins to help out there. I've got the miner on the top left, and you can see how quick this deck is to play. There's only one card that's above 4 elixir, which is the goblin barrel. So you can just whiz around, especially when you get to double time and you get that double elixir. So let's go ahead and keep going. We've got the goblin barrel going towards the tower. The skeleton army is going to go down as well. The minion horde. This is ridiculous when 2 towers are down because you're literally just spamming every card inside of your deck. He's going to play a couple of barbarians to try to help out against that horde. The horde is still going crazy until he uses his zap, and the tower is going to go all the way down to 1,523. The arrows to help out just a bit, but that's pretty much going to be the game. So fun stuff right there. And yeah, the deck just gets crazy. You can definitely do great stuff against it, especially if you have a poison spell. It's really weak against poison on an offensive push. For example, Hog Rider poison or something like that. And let's say I don't have my mini P.E.K.K.A. inside of my deck. But anyways, let's keep going against Johnny from STK and to see if we can keep trolling some guys using this bait deck. So princess in the back. Now, if you get lucky in the very beginning, someone has no idea what you're playing, and they'll just go ahead and take your princess out with arrows or something like that. Looks like he's going to drop his princess in the very back, close to when I drop mine, and I make a big mistake right here. I thought my goblin barrel would go down quicker, and he's going to get so much value for that princess. He definitely has more elixir than me right now, and he has an elixir pump down too, so things aren't looking too hot. I've got to play my princess to kill his. Meanwhile, his goblins just killed my miner, but this definitely did not start out too well. And because of that, he has a huge advantage. Now, the Royal Giant is going to go crazy on me. The Royal Giant's going to do work. I've got to drop my skeleton army because those goblins just locked onto my tower. This game is totally a disaster, so I'm going to have to turn things around real quick as he drops his princess in the very back. The princess is actually pretty satisfying watching kill those skeletons. I'm not going to lie, even though they're my skeletons, I can definitely appreciate what he did right there. But anyways, I'm going to let those minions hit my tower just because I've been getting gutted on elixir this entire battle and to sort of reset myself for the rest of the game. Now, since he dropped that collector, I don't want to let him get that advantage like he has been, so let's drop our goblin barrel, and as soon as that starts going ham onto the elixir collector, he plays a zap, as I thought he would, which means our minions can start running towards the tower. One of them's actually hitting it, the other one killed the ice wizard, or the other 4 of them or something like that, and then meanwhile, they're going to circle all the way back to the tower and bring it down to 1,500 HP. So good stuff right there. We baited out the zap, we used our minions, And let's get ready to do the same exact thing depending on what he does on offense. He's going to keep playing that Royal Giant over and over and over again. There it is. We're going to play our mini P.E.K.K.A. as well as our arrows to kill those minions. But we're just going to have to deal with the Royal Giant. Chances are we're going to lose this first tower. There's not really too much we can do about it, just for the fact that he has that Royal Giant and we don't have any defenses. Meanwhile, looks like he dropped a zap, which means guess what? We're playing a Goblin Barrel on the right. We've got the Princess to help out against these goblins, but take a look at our goblins. Take that tower all the way down to 172, which means just a couple of arrows, I think, maybe a little bit more than one set of arrows should be able to take it out. And meanwhile, a really bad Princess by him means we're going to take out that Princess for free with our mini P.E.K.K.A. And look at our mini P.E.K.K.A. and Princess on the left-hand lane. He let that left-hand tower die. I didn't even think that one was in jeopardy of going down. And we're going to just toss a Goblin Barrel on the right-hand side. And before you can say Galadon's old, that tower's going to go down no problem. So meanwhile, arrows to try to take out his minions, but that tower is pretty much dead. I knew that was going to be dead this entire time. We're going to play our miner to tank that King Tower as well as those minions. They're going to start going ham onto the King Tower as well. With 11 seconds left, we've got the tower all the way down to a couple of hundred. That minion's going to keep smacking away. And with just 5 seconds left in the battle, we're going to pull a 3-crown-to-1 victory against Johnny from STK. So definitely a slow start. We made a huge mistake in the very beginning, and because of that, he capitalized with a lot of Royal Giant damage against our tower. But still, especially once when we got to double time, there was almost nothing he could do against our deck. If he made a single mistake, which he did putting that Princess right in front of my mini P.E.K.K.A., the game was pretty much over from there. So one last battle today. Let's hop into one against Oscar. I'm going to use the Miner Mini or Goblin Barrel combo plus the Princess, just throwing everything I can. Take a look at the value from that Princess. It's actually going to kill the minions that he drops on top of my Miner. So that tower's all the way down to half HP, 30 seconds into the battle, and there's really nothing he can do about that, especially because he just has a single knight charging down the lane. So I'm not too worried about the knight. I probably will still stop it with my mini P.E.K.K.A. just because I think it does about 140 damage a hit or something like that. So the knight's going to go ahead and go down. I'm actually going to drop my miner for a pretty interesting combo, as well as my Goblin Barrel. And as soon as those fire spirits go down, they're actually going to be just like a half second too early. He could have gotten a lot more value if he got my Goblin Barrel as well, but instead my goblins are going to hack away and get that tower all the way down to 276. So I don't know if he like sort of realizes at this point how ridiculous the deck is that I'm using, so he gives me a laugh face as well as a cry face. This is actually this is a pretty difficult push unless I drop my minion horde, but I'm going to do my skeleton army instead, and enough skeletons will survive to make sure that that Royal Giant goes down. But still, that tower is going to be so low, he has to drop his archers to try to stop my skeletons from killing it. And as soon as this knight goes down, I'm actually going to protect my knight with the mini P.E.K.K.A., or I'm going to protect my princess. But it looks like it's still going to die anyway, so there's no happy story for that princess. She is going to be murdered in cold blood. But instead, Miner's going to take out that tower. That's going to be the very first one of the game. And yeah, we can just start trolling around with our Goblin Barrel and our Minion Horde to see what we can do for the rest of the battle. So Goblin Barrel is about to go down, and deciding on what we want to play. I'm hoping he does something first, but if he doesn't, I'll definitely go on a Troll Assault. So Goblin Barrel's going down, the Goblin push, which is so ridiculous. The Princess as well. Those minions are going to get taken out by my arrows, as well as get a little bit of tower damage in. And with the archers right there, should be able to chunk those down to about half HP with the Princess. Alright, so things are looking fine. The Fire Spirits are pretty decent against the Skeleton Army, actually. In fact, the archers didn't even die, which is crazy. So it looks like he's actually going to play a terribly timed Royal Giant just as my Minion Horde was going down. My Goblins to help out against the Royal Giant as well, and my Miner's going to start taking some damage as my troops start going down the lane. And he's just going to be sort of freaking out to do anything he can. So 30 more seconds to try to get that second crown towards our crown chest. The mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to hack away at that knight, as well as the cannon's going to get taken out as well. So let's just start tossing everything we can. We've got the Goblin Barrel, we've got the Miner, we've got the arrows because I knew the minions were coming. We've thrown absolutely everything we got with 15 seconds left. The Princess is going to go down, the Goblins are going to go down. It's going to become so close for the rest of this battle. Let's throw our Goblin Barrel towards the tower, praying that he doesn't have anything to take it out, plus our Miner. Let's see what he does. The Goblins are going to stab away, and we'll get that second crown with just 2 seconds left in the battle. And that's exactly what I wanted. Arrow on my own King Tower. That's going to be GG against Oscar. And guys, this deck is so much fun to play. There's no textbook way to play it, except for play ridiculous amounts of these baitable cards to get your opponent to drop absolutely everything they have to where they can't defend themselves anymore. So feel free to try it out. You don't have to use the Miner with this deck. The Princess is fun to use, so yeah, both the Miner and the Princess are like great for this deck. We don't have to use them. You can just use the Goblin Barrel, Minion Horde, and the Skeleton Army. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace!